NBA Live 14 sinks lower than I ever thought this once proud series could go. Making the totally fair comparison to NBA 2K14 would be like LeBron James playing a pickup game against an arthritic giraffe. But even taken in isolation, the resurrected NBA Live is a mess of a hoop sim, both in your hands and in your eyes, that wouldn't even make the D-League All-Star team. In fact, there's only one thing about NBA Live that's better than its competitor: the net. Yes, that one thing is the net, and it is the best net I've ever seen in a basketball game. There, I said something nice.
Unable to connect on the free throw.
Of course, the core on-court action has to be at least somewhat appealing for that beautiful net to matter, and, well... For an experience built around the basketball itself and the physics that power it, the players handling said rock feels sluggish, as if these ballers only do what you want well after you tell them to. The right thumbstick dribble mechanics feel good and are reminiscent of old-school Live's freestyle stick, but they're often abused, with behind-the-back spins frequently leading to dunks or layups. Speaking of which, dunks from anyone and everyone are far too common. The mid-range jump shot is mostly absent from Live 14's repertoire, probably because jumpers have a freakish tendency to get blocked no matter who's doing the shooting. And if you're looking for instructions on how to run the technically named plays you can call, you'll just have to figure it out on your own. No HUD indicators or other graphics show you what the hell a 51 spread pop is.
Perkins forces it up.
It's a shame, because underneath the garbage heap of problems are a couple of promising features. Big Moments mode includes compelling challenges that recreate rare real-life achievements or big shots. We've seen this in other sports games, but Live's clever hook is that fresh ones are supposed to be added as they happen in the actual NBA season. For instance, I was able to play Jeff Green's buzzer-beating, game-winning 3 against the Heat just days after it went down in Miami. Meanwhile, NBA Live borrows the virtual trading card-based Ultimate Team mode from FIFA and applies it to pro hoopsters, creating the only other thing besides Big Moments that I'd be tempted to keep coming back to. In it, you unlock, or buy, new packs of cards and build a better team with which to challenge online foes. The Rising Star mode isn't so skilled. It follows 2K's My Player blueprint closely, right down to opening with a draft showcase game, then getting drafted, and then playing your first game and getting scored for every little good or bad thing you do in the contest. Problem is, it's a lot easier to fail than it is to succeed. You'll lose rating not just for turnovers and poor defense, but for every missed shot, even if it was a clean, open look that came from great ball movement. Come on, even the best NBA player only makes half his shots. Worse, you're not rewarded for drawing a foul or even making the free throws you've earned once you get to the line. And the Dynasty mode is a menu-tastic, ho-hum take on the traditional front office managing franchise mode. Nothing more, nothing less. Things get worse when you stop looking at menus and start squinting at the graphics. The crowd looks PS3-ish. Players lack texture detail, definition, emotion, and lighting. They're all encased in a white glow that looks like it came out of a PlayStation 2 game. Animations are stiff and unnatural. These guys look anything but alive. And when you do pull off something cool, almost every replay, many of which suffer from frame rate issues that live gameplay doesn't, is a view from the rafters, or if it is closer, shows you the backs of the players' heads. It's almost as if NBA Live 14 knows how ugly it is and is deathly afraid that we'll find out.
I love how they interact with their teammates. I think they're great leaders, even though they're extremely quiet.
The poopy presentation extends to the audio, too. ESPN integration means Mike Green and Jeff Van Gundy are doing the play-by-play, but they seem to always be fresh out of stories and rarely call out players by name, instead opting for generic pronouns like he, or basic descriptions such as this team. Commentary like this hasn't been acceptable in a decade. And the SportsCenter-style halftime show hosted by Jalen Rose has good stuff in it, namely top plays and the ESPN Wired scenes that drop contextually appropriate, real-life coach-in-the-huddle audio into your game.
It's just multiple efforts, guys. It's your habits right now.
but it's buried inside a tiresome, eternal 4-minute sequence. Yes, I timed it.
The third quarter is about to get started. We give it back now to Mike and Jeff.
We're closing in on the opening tip, but first, let's take a look at our starting lineups.
NBA Live's flaccid return is made all the more disappointing because we waited 3 years for it. After all that time, NBA Live 14 in no way advances the basketball sim genre, and worse, leaves little to be optimistic about for next year. Here's hoping EA figures something out. Otherwise, this series' comeback is going to be short-lived. For more on every basketball video game, even this one, you're already in the right place, IGN. And in case you still haven't made your purchasing decision...
Dragic in possession. Pops it back out. Shot clock expires. A violation. It'll be Jazz ball.